Hey friends, different video, same sweater because I'm just continuing to sit down and just speak my mind on camera while I have the time so I could hopefully deliver more consistent content. This time of year gets super busy and I don't know what it is about the fall and winter time, but not like it's winter, but I know busyness is up ahead. So anyway, I'm just trying to stay on top of it and stay connected to my YouTube fam. So anyway, I'm going to do a video today on my tips for injury prevention. This means so much to me now that I am learning so much and recovering from some knee injuries and a surgery I got. I just see so much that I could have done to help myself before I got in all this mess. And now these are all a part of my routine to stay healthy and prevent injury going forward. So I really want to share this with you guys, and I hope from the bottom of my heart that it helps some of you guys to stay healthy and to enjoy your career and make it as long as possible. So without further ado, let's get on to the tips because I've got a lot of them. My first tip is to actually warm up and get your body moving before you do any sort of dancing, not just before class, though this is important, but also before a rehearsal if you have a break. You can't just, okay, so dancers often say, okay, I'm gonna warm up. And then what do? They sit down and they stretch. Stretching is actually most effective whenever you are slightly warm or very warm because your muscles are relaxed and they are prepared to expand themselves. So, that's not scientific, by the way, but anyway. So, if you actually get yourself moving, whether this be just taking a brisk walk or just getting on a treadmill, doing some Pilates before class, you really want to engage your muscles before you are going to call upon them more in a ballet class. People treat ballet class like a warm-up, but actually as you get older and as you put more and more demands on your body that you only have one of and it gets tired sometimes, you actually have to ease it into class because ballet itself, if you haven't already noticed and if you don't appreciate it for what it is very, very hard. And so you actually need to do some gentle warming up before you do your stretching and before your class or rehearsal work. Anyway, let's go on to the next tip. My next tip is to stretch during and especially after class and rehearsals before you go on and continue your day, maybe stand around or sit around the rest of the day. It really kickstarts your rest and recovery time and it allows your muscles to reset while they're most prepared to I don't know how else to say it, but take instruction. So if you are tight and exhausted after a day of dancing, if you stretch right then and there, it's like your body can reset and then take the next, maybe 16 hours before you dance again, maybe more than that. But you really need to optimize your recovery time, and that is really going to help you leave the studio more recuperated than you would be if you just left with tight, cramping muscles. Also, bonus tip, I have found for me personally that rolling out before bed is super fantastic for even not just better sleep, but increased or more productive recovery time, as I like to say it. If you're dancing into the night or into the afternoon, and then you have to get up for class again the next morning, you really need to use these tips to accelerate your body's natural recovery process, because it's really not enough time to be dancing day in and day out, and then maybe take 1 or 2 days off on the weekend. You don't want to overexhaust yourself and get injured by the end of the week. So I would recommend trying to roll out on a foam roller or whatever you use before bed. I find stretching after class and rehearsals is best, and then sometimes I'll roll out a little bit before class if something is still tight, but I found that before bed, when I'm already ready to relax, it just helps me so much, and the benefits are definitely increased for my body, at least during that time. My next tip is to actually take walks whenever you can. Not just maybe you could do it before or after dance to warm up or cool down, but I love doing this on the weekend. Sometimes So I have 2 days off in my, company's work week. And I'll usually take Saturday all the way off. I mean, sometimes I do something a little bit exercise oriented, but especially after a long week, I usually take that day off. And then Sunday, I found that it's important to get myself moving again before Monday, because you don't want to be in rest, like normal person mode when you need to be making like harsh physical demands on your body again on Monday. So I have really enjoyed taking walks on a Sunday night. It's not only nice to just kind of clear my mind, but also to kind of get my body ready to move again at the start of the week. So I would highly recommend taking walks to get your body very gently moving before you start your week up again, or at any time that you feel like it's just nice to go take a walk. It's a really wonderful thing to do. Even if it's just for fresh air and for rejuvenating your mind, because your mind has such a good or bad control over what your body does. So, just keep it all in good health. My next tip is to get analyzed or just, checked out by either a chiropractor, a physical therapist, an athletic trainer, anyone who you trust to give you medical attention and who specializes in treating athletes. It's very beneficial to get, evaluated by them to examine your strengths, your weaknesses, your injury history, and also you need to have someone who you trust to actually question why certain things happen in your body. Like, why are you more prone to, rolling your left ankle, or why does your right knee hurt, or something like that. If you have someone who is committed enough to asking questions like, why is this, and investigating it, it'll really help you to develop a good routine of strengthening certain muscles, to being more aware of your body and its natural tendencies that you might not want. So getting evaluated like that is crucial, so that, like I already mentioned, you can create a routine to mitigate the risks within your own body. For me, I naturally have knees that, they don't quite track properly. I have patella alta, like I've always had that, which is when the patella itself, the kneecap, sits a little higher than it should, too close to my femur. And so I've had to really work on maintaining a really good balance of quad strength to hamstring strength. A lot of times my hamstrings just want to take over, and so I have to work on that. Some people have to work on their back, neck posture, or their glute strength, or something like that. And so having help to discern what you need to work on in your own body is really fantastic for health and longevity and injury prevention. My next tip is to find a cross-training routine that doesn't exhaust you, but it helps you to stay strong in a very balanced way. I think it's super important for dancers to have some sort of cross-training routine that involves normal posture, like not always up in spinal extension, to not always be in an external rotation or turnout in their legs. You need to find balanced strength. You need to find something, whether that be, a routine at the gym, yoga. I love Pilates. There are so many different things that you can do as a dancer that will supplement your ballet training and not exhaust you and take away from your energy in the studio, but it will actually help you to be more successful and stronger in the studio. So please do try to fit something like that into your schedule and make it a priority, so that you could be balanced in your strength and the best you could be. My next tip is to actually listen to your body and back off when it's asking you to back off. I'm preaching to myself because I do this to myself all the time. Usually as ballet dancers, we just constantly put pressure on ourselves to push through pain, to go to the extreme. It's like we live in extremes. We're always pushing ourselves to the length that, like, to get our leg as high as it'll go, to make the highest jump or something like that. And medical professionals will say, whenever you're at the extent of a movement or a position, when you're absolutely hitting your your limit, that is where injuries happen. And so sometimes your body just tells you like, hey, can you back off for a second? I'm tired of going to the extreme. And if you don't listen to it, our bodies are very intelligent and they will send signals. And so if you don't listen to it, it's likely that you are really prone to getting an injury. It could be serious, it could be not. But as I know from my personal experience, and most dancers will say the same, little minor injuries that we blow off all the time, if you just keep blowing them off, it will likely turn into something major. So do listen to your body and really be in tune with it and actually honor it. And if it does not, if you're really in too much pain, it's not going away, or if you just get a funny feeling that you shouldn't do this Grand Allegro one more time, don't do it. It's really not worth it. Now, I know sometimes we have to push and we don't have a choice, like during a performance weekend or something like that, but the more you take care of yourselves in the situations where you do have choice and you do have control, the more prepared you will be for the situations where you just have to get the work done. I would, as my next tip, I would recommend visiting a chiropractor regularly. I find that good chiropractors are very good at diagnosing, just very casually, kind of what is going on with you. I love having chiropractors that will actually discuss with me what they're kind of finding in my body, like if all of a sudden my neck is stiff that week or something like that. They're very good at giving advice on how to fix that issue, and they also provide kind of a quick fix. So I would recommend getting readjusted so that your body can be the most efficient with its strength and in its movements. And I think it'll definitely help you guys out there prevent future injuries. Okay, I'm getting to the end here in the tips. I think I have 3 more. My next one is that if you are already injured or feeling pain, you do still need to warm up before class or rehearsals. However, I know that warming up can be painful if you're just cold and stiff and you already have an injury. So like I've mentioned in a couple other videos, use a heating pad or something like that to gently warm up the area that is hurting you so that it'll kind of ease you into warming up a little bit more, engaging the rest of your muscles before activity without causing you so much pain. It's really a fantastic tip. My second to last tip is one that is so important, especially if you've been through an injury before that it has taken you out for a little bit, or that is considered kind of serious. Do not neglect it. Even after you feel better and after your pain has gone away, you need to be consistent with preventing that injury from happening again. I have done this to myself so many times and I'm just kicking myself for it, and I don't ever want to be that way again. Like if you know that historically you have, like say you have really, really tight calves and your ankles are always kind of getting out of place or getting locked up or something, and you have foot injuries, don't neglect to roll out your calves even when your feet aren't hurting or something like that. For me, it's rolling out my quads and my hamstrings and stretching after activity. Like this is so important, and if you neglect it just because you're feeling good, you might be setting yourself up to experience this injury again. So if you know what to do to stay healthy, don't be lazy about it. Stay on top of it, even when you're not in pain, so that you won't be in pain later down the road. Okay, so for my last tip, it is to stay positive, confident. I'll hopefully do videos about this soon because I believe that a happy dancer is a healthy dancer, and what you have going on in your mind is either going to make or break you. I really believe that, especially as I've gotten to watch many successful, more senior dancers, principal dancers, soloists, what makes them different from the rest of the crowd is their mental game. And that mental game really affects their physical game. So the more you just enjoy what you're doing, that's a huge tip. Enjoy what you're doing. Be grateful for it. Dancing is an amazing thing. The more you stay positive about it and just really value your mental health, I think the more, actually I know, the more you will be able to stay healthy in your body. So with that, I will finish this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please contribute to my Patreon account or consider contributing if you find what I post here valuable. I would really appreciate it. I also have new perks going up on my Patreon account, such as polls for upcoming content. Videos and pictures will probably be coming along from me, and maybe posts about current events in the ballet world. So I hope that you'll join me over there and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys next time. Bye.